We got a big one tonight. We got a big Monday Night Football matchup between our Philadelphia Eagles and the Los Angeles Chargers. We're going to break it all down. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about whether it is must win or not and what this game means, the X's and O's, all we've heard. So, guys, sit back, drop your comments, and let's get started. Trending in the AM. Oh, we're talking Sixers and Phillies and maybe Flyers as well. Trending in the AM. We're live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome all to Trending in the AM, right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube and Twitter. You know the drill, wherever you're watching, however you're watching. Guys, hit the like button, hit that share button, of course. Subscribe to the STT Sports Network starting this week out at 905 subscribers. It is free to support the growth of this channel by just making those clicks. It really does not cost you a thing. So, guys, hit those buttons, and let's get into Eagles, Chargers, Monday Night Football final preview and prediction. We're also going to cover some Sixers today. Big loss last, not a big loss, a good loss last night to the Lakers. Flyers lost yesterday, and the Phillies in the winter meetings are underway, and there's already rumors about Kyle Schwarber and everything else going on. So we're going to talk it all. We're normally live for 90 minutes. This might be a 2-hour show. This might push that 2-hour mark. Make sure you guys also vote on the poll question on the YouTube channel that's live right now. Confidence level that the Eagles beat the Chargers tonight on Monday Night Football. Option A, it's a lock the Eagles win. Option B, they should win, but it'll be close. Option C, Chargers win, but Eagles show heart, which would be very important. Or the Chargers smoke the birds, and that's just disaster starts there for the Eagles. They're your poll questions that you can vote on. But, guys, like, subscribe, share. I'm Phil Stiefel. Let's get right to the comments here. Already, Noom's dropping the first comment, non-Eagles related. Hasn't happened in a while, but 2 acceptable losses by the Flyers and Sixers yesterday that tell you where they are and where they need to improve. Absolutely agree. Look, the Sixers game last night, I mean, they fought and clawed their way back to get that game tied at 105, and then 64-year-old LeBron James just makes 2 clutch baskets to retake the lead, and it was over from there. Good morning, Little G. Yes, let's kick some Chargers butt today. Elephant in the room, what's happening? Good morning to you. And yes, winter meetings are here. I expect the Phillies to be very active over the next 3 or 4 days. I really do. Can't wait to be disappointed by our friend. Well, when I said I can't wait to see that I think the Phillies will be active, I didn't say they'll be active in a good way. But they will be active this week. Good morning, Robert. How you doing today? Guys, this is, obviously the winter meetings and basketball is going on and hockey. But this is the end of week 14 in the NFL. And it was a crazy week 14 in the NFL. More shocks, more parity. The Chargers and the Eagles get to wrap it up tonight. And I hate the word must win. And I know in theory, it's not must win for the Eagles because in theory, if the Eagles lose, they still control their own destiny. They're still going to win the division. They're still going to make the playoffs. But if you have expectations or hopes that the Eagles make the Super Bowl or have a chance at the Super Bowl, they got to get shit right. They got to get their execution right. They got to get their confidence, their mojo, their vibes right. Now, I don't know what the fuck a positivity bunny is, but they got one. And maybe that's what it is. In 22, they had the underdog masks. This year, it's going to be the bunny masks. Bunny masks are flying off the shelves probably. But let me tell you something. It is a crucial game that the Eagles must get right. You hear Nick Sirianni rumored to be more involved. You hear Jalen Hurts talking about going back half a decade of film during the mini-bye. You hear Saquon talking about sideline vibes during the game. You hear all this. And you know, winning this week in any fashion is going to be critical for the mental makeup of this team for the final few weeks of the season. They got 5 games left. They absolutely need to go at minimum 3-2. But for vibe's sake, might need to go 4-1, and it starts tonight. What's up, Soldier Steve? How you doing this morning? Steven Fuentes in the house. Go Birds. That's right. This game is too big. This is a big game. I hate Monday Night Football even more than Sunday Night Football because I get my ass up at 7 a.m. and I ain't going to be in bed till after midnight. I am semi-retired now, so maybe I'll take a nap this afternoon. It won't be that bad. It's an Eagles reboot. It definitely sounds like through the free time that they had with the extended bye week or the mini bye week or whatever you call a Friday game, that they did reboot some things within the organization, vibe-wise and scheming-wise and execution-wise. You have to hope so. You have to hope they figure it out. Let's get to this. This is not the first time this year that the Eagles have a 2-game losing streak. What did the Eagles do the last time they had a 2-game winning streak? They went and played Minnesota, and they beat the Vikings 28-22 behind Jalen Hurts' best performance of the year, where he threw for over 320 yards and threw 3 touchdown passes. No interceptions. That tells me a lot. Tells me an awful lot. I would bet money on the Phillies trading for either Alex Thomas or Jake McCarthy. You know, maybe. I did a video that they're going to trade for Ford, the minor league catcher of the Mariners, and then 12 hours later he got traded, but not to the Phillies. I don't know if I should be doing Phillies projection videos very often when they instantly means they don't get the players. I'll just go 3-0 and get some rest. 3 seed gets locked. McKeister's happy. Everybody wins. I'd be very happy if they went 3-0. And then can rest against Buffalo. Maybe play the starters a little bit early against the Commanders so that they don't have that many weeks off. Go 3-0 to get the rest, but that rest gets you healthy. It's going to be an interesting week without Jalen Carter out there. Seeing how they fill that in. You're going to probably get Marcus Epps starting tonight. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. This team is hurt. You've got the offensive line. Going out and winning tonight, and then you have a very easy winnable game next week against the Raiders. And then the Commanders who got to pack it in now. You have to think they do. Jaden Daniels hurt again. Zach Ertz might have ended his career on Sunday. Brutal hit that he took there. Just looked brutal. You got to think that if they can win tonight, they can easily win their next 2. Get to that 11-win mark. And then coast week 17 and week 18. Just coast it. You got to think that's a chance. But it starts tonight, and that's why tonight is such a pivotal, critical game for the Eagles to win. So critical that the Eagles take advantage of this opportunity. Now, the Chargers are a good football team. Let's not beat around the bush. They're on the outside of the division. I mean, they're still a couple games back, 2.5 games back of the Broncos in the division. But the Chargers are a good football team. They're actually a better defensive team than offensive team, and I don't even think people realize that. Let's take a look at who the Chargers have played this year. Obviously, some division games. They've lost to the Commanders and the Giants. They lost to the Colts. They lost to the Jaguars. They still got one more NFC East game. So the NFC East is raking up a lot of their wins or losses there. The Steelers, that's a good win that they had there. The Titans they beat. That's nothing. The Raiders they've beaten twice. That doesn't mean anything. They did beat the Broncos and the Chiefs early this year, and the Dolphins during their losing stretch early this year. I don't know how good the Chargers really are. Offensively, They're solid. They're just outside the top 10. They're barely inside the top 20 in points scored. They don't do anything flashy. They do play really good defense. Great pass defense. Solid run defense. That's something that we got to get right. That is a textbook PCL injury that Leonard Weaver had, and Zertz most likely has it. Dude, I didn't even want to go back and watch it a second or third time. When your leg bends like that, that's ACL. I think they already said an ACL tear without even looking at anything, imaging. That looked like a dislocation. It looked bad. And then Zach Ertz is, 37, 38 years old? There's almost no chance that Zach Ertz comes back and plays football again. It's a shame. A lot of injuries yesterday. Also, obviously, Daniel Jones ended his season, rupturing his Achilles yesterday. There are 7 spots with 49ers and others nipping at Eagles' heels. The Eagles got to win. We don't need people nipping at. Everyone's going to always be nipping at our heels because we're the champs. We're the best of the best of the best of the best with honors, sir. But with that said, the Eagles have a path to put some cushion at those teams nipping at our heels. Most PCLs happen in car accidents, but he was completely extended. It just looks brutal. And you got to feel for the guy. We talked about whether the Eagles should have tried to bring him back to Philly this year if he was waived or if he was available at the trade deadline. But, man, it was crazy. Crazy to see it play out that way. This is a must-win. Crazy Week 14 in the NFL so far. Nice MIB. Well, it's like the 40th time I've done that. You're only the second person. You and Duck have only ever caught it once each. But, yeah, it was a crazy week in the NFL. Majorly crazy week. I mean, you got Baltimore pretty much done now. Tampa Bay loses yesterday. The Colts lose their quarterback for the year. Tennessee cost them the number 1 overall pick, with their win yesterday. The Chiefs are done now, basically. Man. Eagles win 21-14 as Roberts. The first prediction of the day is in. I don't hate that score. That's not my score. I got a couple scores written down. I had a couple close to that, but not that one. I think it could be that. Chargers defense only gives up 21 points a game. So people predicting 30, 35 points from the Eagles tonight? I find it hard to imagine. I do. The Eagles are going to try to get themselves right. They're saying all the things right that they're going to get right. The problem with that is, it's not like if this week was the Raiders, I'd feel confident the Eagles could smoke them and get right. But they might get right tonight and not win. They might get right tonight and it might not look as pretty as we want it to look. With honors 4 maybe coming out. It might. I just saw that rumor this weekend. Why not do another Men in Black? Why not? Are the Chiefs cooked or just for the year? I think it's a great question, Al. I do not think the Kansas City Chiefs are cooked for good. They're definitely cooked this year. They definitely need to retool. The problem with the Chiefs that they're not cooked for good, or the reason why the Chiefs are not cooked for good, is they still got Patrick Mahomes. They still got Andy Reid. As long as you got the second greatest coach quarterback combo of all time, you can retool pretty quickly. They got to get an offensive line. They got to fix that offensive line. They have to. They got to find Patrick Mahomes a real running back. They do got to improve the defense, even though they got some really good players. They got to improve the defense. But that offensive line's got to be a top priority for the Chiefs, and they're going to get it at worst a middle of the first round first pick, which they haven't had a pick in the top 20 in I don't know how long. So the Chiefs are just going to retool. They're not cooked for good just this year. Eagles win by 7 and not high scoring. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. But they need to win by 7. They need to win this game. It's pivotal. All the hype and talk over the last 9 or 10 days without a football game is all for naught if they don't come out and win. They got to win. Chargers will win, be kill blow to Chiefs. A Chargers win would be the kill blow to the Chiefs. Now, I don't think that even matters. I really don't think anything matters for the Chiefs. The Chiefs are just done. I mean, the Chiefs are now, 6-7? Yeah, they got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 teams ahead of them in the wild card race right now for 3 spots. So no. Oh man, have you guys heard about the Red Sox trading for and signing every available free agent? Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yep. The Mets are in on everybody too. Mahomes older and the roster money catching up. I mean, he's older, but he's not that old, Patrick Mahomes. He's still got plenty of time left. Year 13 appears to be the dude's Waterloo. Are you talking about Mahomes? I mean, Mahomes has still got a lot of time left on the clock. Men in Black is a fantastic franchise. Yeah. The first one was obviously the GOAT of the GOAT of the GOAT with honor, sir. Chiefs are cooked this season, and maybe next they are having the problems we are having this season. They are. And they're not. And look, the Chiefs are not out of it. They have to win out now, which will be tough. Phil be a lot more calmer than you would think with the schedule and standings. I mean, it's 8:16 in the morning on a Monday. Do I need to be fired up and pissed off and doing cartwheels this early? I got to conserve energy. I woke up at 7 a.m. I ain't going to be in bed till after midnight tonight. It's time. I got to conserve everything I do today. Does Michael Clay's squad provide the needed boost? I mean, the Michael Clay squad's got to be better than they were. I got to say that at least. Eagles Chargers are almost always one-score games, 11 of 13 times they played. The last Eagles game I went to was the 2021 Eagles lost to the Chargers at the Link. That was the last time I was actually at an Eagles game, and that was a brutal game too. You know what I hate about tonight's game, Rick? And this is not me. This is just other people. There's a lot of people out there that just drool over Justin Herbert and his 21 touchdowns, not his 10 interceptions, which are pretty high, or his 38 sacks he's taken, but whatever. People love them some Justin Herbert. I need the Eagles to win, not because of what it means for the season. I need the Eagles to win because I don't need the 4,000 bookmarks of tweets I've got to come back to bite me in the ass, because every time I've ever tweeted out about Hurts is better than Herbert, everybody bookmarks it, and everybody's waiting. So I need Hurts to go out and put up a Minnesota Vikings type game and the Eagles to win so I can tell people, see, shut up. Otherwise, my Twitter page will just blow up with negativity from others. My son just heard you, 6 and 7. What? Andy Reid's 13th year. Gotcha. Look, I don't pay close enough attention to know, Nooms, what's going on in KC, media-wise, etc. I don't know if they're calling for Andy Reid's job. I hope they're not. That would kind of suck. All that success to have one down year and then get called out. But it's about the time frame when a coach starts to lose his attention to detail in a city, his focus in a city. The thing with Andy Reid is he's not young anymore. When he's done with the Chiefs, he's probably done. And I'm not sure if he's ready to hang up the clipboard just yet. Chiefs are at 15% chance to make the playoffs with that loss. They're done. They're cooked this year. If there's ever a year to spend in MLB offseason, it's this offseason, as the lockout and salary cap are soon, so spend as much as now, Phillies. Whether it's good or bad news, Rick, I feel we're going to see a very active Phillies over the next 3 days, in a good or a bad way. In a bad way because they lose out on a bunch of guys, a good way because they surprise us and make the big, bold moves that we both want. The next 72 hours, critical for the Phillies' future. Good morning, Adam. Go Birds. Hey, I caught you a few minutes of you on Mitchie Pooh's show. Didn't catch it live. Caught it on replay. Good stuff, my man. Way to go. Harbaugh is a great head coach. He wins everywhere he goes. But luckily for the Eagles, Sirianni is a great head coach too, who just wins. Harbaugh, a great head coach that just wins everywhere. How many years has he been in LA now? I don't want to go back too far here and blame him for everything. But has he won yet with the Chargers? Not really. Regular season wins, Rick, do not matter. I know he won a title in college, and I know he got the 49ers to a Super Bowl. But with the Chargers, he hasn't won yet, in my opinion. Chiefs, no playoff. Kelsey is washed up. Kelsey, man, just looks slow and soft. There was that one play where he was calling, well, like he calls for it every play, but one play last night where he was calling for a defensive PI or a hold, and he didn't get it. But really, he just got manhandled at the line of scrimmage. What's up? How you doing? Good morning to you. Salute to you as well. Good morning to you, Warfighter. Houston, we got a W. We don't got a problem. We got a W. Hey, I feel it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the positivity bunny through my soul. So one loss makes Herbert's better. Herbert is overrated. What judges, if we are wrong about Herbert, makes the playoffs and wins big games? Herbert is so overrated. Herbert is the definition of how fantasy football and gambling has ruined how we evaluate talent. Because Justin Herbert's got 2,900 yards passing this year. He's got 21 touchdowns. No one's going to talk about the 38 sacks he's taken or the 10 interceptions he's thrown. Justin Herbert is why fantasy football is ruined sports. He's a poor man's Phillip Rivers. Guy's always going to put up big numbers. He just doesn't come up clutch when it matters. Rick is 100% right. If we don't spend this year, it's going to be a couple years before next year's free agent class is shit. Yeah. They got to. Big Red should have retired already. Same for Kelsey. We'll see how the next couple of weeks plays out with the Chiefs. It'll be interesting to see whether they run it all back or make some changes there. Push all the chips in. Phillies don't pussyfoot around this offseason. Well, they're going to try. Well, we're going to find out whether I said it during the last season that Dave Dombrowski has lost some of his cojones, and then he went out and got Joan Duran and Harrison Bader. So maybe I should say that now. But I thought for a little bit leading up to the trade deadline that Dave Dombrowski had the game has passed him by. We're going to find out over the next 72 hours if that's true. What's up, Rob? How you doing this morning? The Pirates submitted an offer for Schwarber. They have a better chance at luck. Of course they submitted an offer. And of course, like the reports, it's guaranteed to be over $100 million. Oh, shit. No team is going to call Kyle Schwarber's agent and offer him less than $100 million. Other than Scooble, I think the best free agent next year is Chisholm. Really? I haven't even looked at next year. It's only his second year in L.A. Okay, that's what I thought. L.A. Harbaugh's been mid. It's only been 2 years. Harbaugh only been there for a season and a half. Okay, yeah. For some reason, I wasn't sure if it was a year and a half or 2.5 years. That's why I wanted to confirm it before I bashed him too much. Gotcha. I saw you on the screen for a minute. Saw you chatting for a minute. To say Big Red should have retired already is a wild take when he had his team in the Super Bowl. I know. Exactly. This is the overreaction in football, Warfighters. I mean, I've been battling people on YouTube comments on my replays all weekend of people saying that the Eagles are done and Sirianni to fire everybody and move on from Hurts and start all over again. Like seriously, we've been to the Super Bowl 2 of the last 3 years. The Chiefs have been to them 3 years in a row. Swift gonna leave Kelsey. Stop. Casey isn't used to not getting the calls. Welcome back to the pack. That is true. Of course they offered him 4 years, and of course they offered him over $100 million. His agent's got something out there that you can't even talk to him if you don't got at least 4 years and $120 million on the table. Because every week is we are back or it's over. The NFL is like that. NFL, not for long. It's great. Every week it's either the end of the world or we're Super Bowl champs. It's true. Is Herbie definitely ruled out? No, Herbie's playing today. And I think that's a big deal that Justin Herbert's playing. And that's good for the Eagles and bad for the Eagles. It's good for the Eagles because, well, it's bad for the Eagles because Herbert can sling the ball around, obviously. But Herbert can make mistakes. Herbert's got a broken hand. It's his non-throwing hand, but he's got a cast on, and I'm sure they're going to pad that cast up. It is going to be critical for the Eagles' defense to get pressure and hit Justin Herbert tonight. Whether that hand is his throwing hand or not, he takes a hit and falls down, it's going to hurt. It's going to send shockwaves through him. He gets hit in the hand by a pad or a helmet, it's going to send shockwaves through his body. You can rattle him into turnovers, and you can sack him. His offensive line is not good. This is a game where Jalen Phillips can get back on track. This is a game where Nolan Smith can finally get back on track. Right? Justin Herbert playing tonight is good. Trey Lance is a terrible quarterback, his backup. But Trey Lance presents an unknown. His mobility, his scrambling and whatnot, things that give our team fits. By the way, Justin Herbert's got 353 rushing yards too, so he scrambles a little bit too. But Justin Herbert's hand being broken does pose a bit of a positive thing for the Eagles. Legalized gambling is what's ruined sports. Absolutely, to an extent, agree with you on that. I think Justin Herbert, is more on the fantasy side than the gambling side of what's ruined sports. And fantasy football has been around for 30, 40 years now, maybe longer. But yeah, legalized gambling, it ruins sports. And Justin Herbert's a big proponent of that. Phil talking that cash money right now with Herbert right there tonight. What? Proof the refs are betting. They called a flag to have the Raiders cover the spread. Dude, I saw a tweet about the Raiders game last night. They kicked a field goal down 10 with 10 seconds left to cover the 8.5-point spread. And I am sure, Adam, that there's going to be some investigations there. Sign Bellinger and Bader or Tucker and Bader. That'll be the money they would have spent on Schwarber and Crawford. So you're suggesting sign those two, either two, and get rid of Schwarber. Yeah, look, I finally did some research. I finally convinced myself that Bellinger would be a good option if you can't get Tucker, which I've seen rumors that Kyle Tucker is going to get 10 years north of $400 million, which the Phillies shouldn't be out on that, but they are out on that. And I don't know if I want the Phillies giving out another 10-year contract. I don't know what Bellinger's will be, but it won't be 10 years. Probably be 5 years or 6 years. Bellinger will probably get 6 years, $200 million. Bader's going to be a very attractive piece as well. My worry is that Bader was a one-trick pony, a one-hit wonder last year. But he seemed to fit vibe-wise in. So a Bellinger, Bader, Crawford outfield would be phenomenal. Hell, if we're stuck with Bellinger, Crawford, and Marsh, I'm still not going to complain. Chargers haven't fared well versus mobile quarterbacks. Hurts needs to run more. Look, we talked about it. Well, not on this show. On the Eagles checkdown, I talked about it. That he was asked about that. And he said, where did those rumors come from? He shot those rumors down that he doesn't want to run more. Pretty blatantly shot that down and pretty quickly. We got blitz, Herbert. How are you going to play normal with that hand? He can't play normal with that hand. There's no way he can play normal with a broken hand, even though it's his non-throwing hand. I've broken bones before. And it hurts. But when you bang that broken arm or broken hand or broken foot or broken anything, it sends pain through your entire body. And that distracts you on the next play. Guys, we've been over 20 viewers most of this show, and there's still only 9 likes. So, guys, if you haven't yet, hit the like button, subscribe, share, vote on the poll. We got 18 votes, but 9 likes. There's 18 people watching now. We've been at 23 multiple times. Hit those buttons, guys. Let's get this channel to the roof this week. Last week was a great week of shows and content. Not a great week on subscriber ups. Let's go this week. Got lots of stuff coming out this week. The Eagles need to smack that broken hand on every opportunity. Absolutely. Hands up. And as he releases the ball, bring your hands down, just slap that hand. If Herbert goes, Trey Lance will come in. And that's good and bad. It's good and bad. Before, defense better be inspired by Houston's unit. Man, that Houston defense, man. That's an elite defense right there. The Houston Texans, I had them written off 5 weeks ago. That defense might. What do we always say? A defense wins championships. Texans defense is pretty elite. I feel bad for Daniel Jones as well. Tough injury, man. And he's a free agent at the end of the year. And if that's an Achilles tear, like they say, that's a 9-month recovery. So you're looking at him not being ready to practice with whoever his next team is till the end of training camp at soonest. He'll get a job somewhere as a backup somewhere, but man, it's a brutal end to a great season that he's had. At least our birds don't have to weather the elements. LA is fine. I haven't even looked at the weather, to be honest with you. because it doesn't matter. Eagles probably go 3-2 in these last 5 games, which wins the division, which is goal 1 right now. But tonight may not be one of those 3. But we'll see. Look at that. Look at Rick being realistic there. It's not always just wins. Look, so the poll question of the day, Rick, confidence level. One of the options that are on the board, it's only got 1 vote so far. Chargers win, but Eagles show heart. If the Eagles lose, but play a damn good game, and just lose because you're on the road in LA against a very good, well-coached team, can we feel good about a loss? I think we can. I know it'll be hard for the negative people out there. I know it'll be hard for the national media and the local media to do that. But a loss can still be a win, theoretically speaking. Not a Bellinger fan. Look, it's another left-handed bat, which we don't want and don't need. But I went through his numbers, and I know he had a stretch there for a couple years where he wasn't good. But he's a former MVP, former Gold Glove, former, Silver Slugger. The guy's had 2 straight really damn good years, rebounding from a couple down years. He can play all 3 outfield positions. He's better corner outfielder than he is center fielder, but he played 50-some games in center field last year. I think he makes a major improvement to our outfield if he is the guy they bring in. A major improvement. Belly could be a very frustrating player, but may work here. Look, Bellinger's not a lock, sure thing. But I think that's also why Bellinger isn't going to command. I think Bellinger's only 29 or 30. I have his board up here somewhere. He's 30 years old. I think Bellinger won't get the 10 years, but I think because of the frustrations with him, he's more of a 5-6-year contract guy. Bellinger is a good all-around hitter, not just home runs. He does hit for a solid average, does a lot of good things. Teams with Allen, top quarterbacks can't afford defensive players. Yeah, the astronomical numbers of salaries in baseball is borderline unethical. I don't disagree with you, but that's another conversation for another day. Congrats, yes, absolutely. Congrats to Jeff Kent, former MLB MVP, on being elected to the Hall of Fame. Yes, absolutely. Good for him. Good for him. What will you do if Herbert wins? I mean, it depends on how he wins, but I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be mute Twitter for 2 days if he does. Did Bellinger grow up with a Harper in same Little League Baseball? I do not know that. I'm not sure about that. The problem with the Raiders kicking that field goal is that they can't prove anything because every team has a right to play to the end. Nothing can be done about them doing it to cover the spread. No, I know. But it is kind of one of those things. Bellinger's always bad when his contract isn't expiring. That's a possibility. No way. No, that was Joey Gallo. That was a home run or bust type player. Bellinger's agent is Scott Boras. You all know what that means. I wish he stays in New York. But this franchise is unserious about winning. He deserves better and is a good all-around player. Belly Bomb. Ooh, we got the Bomers. We got a Bomer. We got nicknames for everybody. Belly Bombs. I like that. Bader Tots. Houston finally find an 0-5 start themselves. Yeah, that defense wins. That's great. I think they win today. Sure. I am not. Oh, you're not sure, but you think. I can get behind that. We can't even feel good about a good win. We can. Muchas gracias, Adam. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's get this week started off right. Thank you, Adam. I'm unemployed, so that helps. How many more weeks do Phil think we got? He talking moral victories. I'm not saying I want a moral victory. I'm just saying, can that be the case? All I want for Christmas is Kevin Patullo demoted and Stefanski fired. Why? So you could bring Stefanski here? Look, this is going to be a big week. Or a big day for Kevin Patullo, whether he gets demoted or not. Is there a realistic chance the Phillies sign the next big-time Japanese stars coming over this year? They're definitely in the conversation. I don't even try to pronounce their names, the main guy. They're definitely in on it, and there's reports that he's considered going to the East Coast. They're going to talk to him for sure. Do they realistically stand a chance? I don't know. If I had to put like an odds coming into this offseason, I would have said less than a 10% chance they would get him. Now I would say maybe there's like a 25, 30% chance that they get him, and that's better than nothing. I'm actually on the Bellinger over Schwarber, and I know I'm going to get... No, I did that in a video. Doesn't it make sense more to spend $180 million on Bellinger, who could do a lot more, than Schwarber, $150 on Schwarber? It might make more sense to take Bellinger over Schwarber. There's nothing in the last 3 weeks tells me the Eagles' offense can play 4 quarters of football. Absolutely correct. Now, the Eagles have done this already this year, talk the talk during the week, and then not walk the walk, Duck. The Eagles got to stop talking the talk. They actually got to prove all the talk during the week means results. This whole positivity rabbit, what does everybody make of this giant, blown-up Easter bunny in the locker room to bring good vibes? Like, what in the holy hell even is a positivity bunny? Never heard that phrase before this weekend. Like, seriously. It's crazy. It's really crazy. If Jeff Kent made the Hall of Fame, then you may actually see J-Roll or Chutley make it. I think J-Roll definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, for sure. And he wasn't voted in by the reporters. It was the committee that put him in. I think J-Roll has a little boost this year in his numbers. I think he gets a little closer. I don't know how many years he's been on the ballot now, though. Joey Gallo, the big attorney, what? No. He's a baseball player. Phil Alray starting preemptive cope? Nope. Not at all. Are you on the winning side tonight or a loss? I think the Eagles win tonight. I'll give you my score prediction at the end of the show. But I do think the Eagles win. I really do. Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, for all their criticism and all the complaints about them, they do one thing. They win. And they do not go on long losing streaks very often. So I got them breaking this 2-game losing streak tonight. I do. Time to redo the stats required to get in the Baseball Hall of Fame as the game has changed exponentially, and time to have players and coaches being the ones that vote on Hall of Fame. There definitely needs to be an overhaul on the voting process, Rick. It's ridiculous. And I could do a 3-hour show just on all the things wrong with it. But I don't know if there's necessarily a right or a wrong way to do this or to do the Hall of Fame voting, because there's always going to be agendas. The problem is the media has so much more of an agenda than anybody else. I think people in the Hall of Fame should have a big say on who joins their club, so to speak. But I don't think I would vote for Utley as much as he's beloved. The love is more local. The thing with Utley is I just don't think he did it long enough to get in, to be worth it. His 4-year stretch there, one of the greatest stretches in Phillies history, in second baseman history in baseball. But he had, 4 really good years? Maybe 5? Jimmy Rollins did it for a long time. Hard Knock leads me to believe Sirianni is cringe and luckier than I thought, but Hurts seems to care more than I thought. I disagree with the first half. I'm glad you see the second half. Winter meetings technically started last night. But yeah, today's the first day where meetings and free agents and trades and stuff like that news like that will start dropping. Tucker would be a great fit here too. Look, I know you said it in the comment on a tweet on a short video, and I know we're going to disagree. Like, I want them to spend the money too, Rick. They've been very open about that. They're at their max on salary. Whether he's a billionaire or not is beside the point. Every business owner's got a budget, and he's tapped on the budget. So the fact that Tucker's going to probably command over $400 million, it's just not happening here for us. We'll love it. I won them 2 years ago. It's just not going to happen. They're not going to give out another 10-year contract, and they're definitely not giving out a $400 million contract. Your offense with Bellinger is going to take a massive hit, and that's if you get the motivated Bellinger. We will have to sign him to a long-term deal, so I doubt we get motivated Bellinger. Interesting. Good vibes only. I hope it's good vibes. Is the bunny better than Bamboo? I don't know. Bamboo Brad? I was trying to come up with some kind of joke that it's going to be the positive vibe bunny rabbit versus bad bunny Super Bowl halftime performer at the Super Bowl. QC Bad Bunny bringing out the positivity bunny on the halftime show as part of his show? It's just something that there's got to be a joke there somewhere, Big Al, that I can't put the pieces together on. Any comment on Notre Dame losing out in the playoffs? I mean, I did actually watch college football this weekend. I watched Ohio State, Indiana on Saturday night. Hell of a defensive football game. I don't know. I do have a comment on Notre Dame saying that they're not going to play in the bowl game. And I think they should have to play in a bowl game. I think that's bogus. Let's make a statement and say, no, we're not going to play in a bowl game because you didn't give me the bowl game I wanted, which was the playoffs. I think that's a bad message sent. I don't think that's fair to all your players that need game footage, that they need tape on themselves. I don't like that. That would be my comment. I think it's bogus that they're not going to play in a bowl game because they didn't make it in. Commanders got smoked yesterday, definitely eliminated. Now they are. They've officially been eliminated, the Commanders. And what a joke. What a joke. Playing Jaden Daniels. We all knew that was a bad idea. They did it, and now he got hurt again. Ryan Howard's a Hall of Famer, in your opinion? He's like Utley, didn't do it long enough. But, man, again, that 4-year stretch of his, 06 to 2011, pretty special. He's the Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of he's part of the Hall of the really good players. Problem is, in this day and age, there's a lot of players on Ryan Howard and Chase Utley's level in the Hall of Fame because there's way too many people in the Hall of Fame. Joey Gallo, yeah. Did I say it wrong? It's Joey Gallo. So I say Gallo. Isn't Gallo a winery owner? I have no idea. Positive Bunny screams soft mentality to me. Hey, what we know is that these kind of things seem to work in Philly. You had the underdog masks, you had Bamboo Brad. You'll always have stuff like this going. You had the headbands with the Sixers, where they're the headband gang. I saw VJ Edgecombe rocking one of them the other day. Unmotivated Bellinger's a below league average ops guy. Yeah, he plays defense, but that doesn't give you offense in the playoffs. I get it. That's why I was so late to the party even getting on board with Bellinger. But they do need to make some kind of a bold move like that. The anti-Bad Bunny cut the tension in the locker room that I can tell you seems silly outside, but so did Sirianni's flower reference. The team was as unprepared as fans for that rabbit. The Easter Bunny saved Christmas for Philly. Hey, I like the way you phrased that, okay? It seems silly to us. Do we know who brought the Bad Bunny in specifically? Or the anti-bad, the positive bunny? It cuts the tension. It made some people laugh, took some of the edge off. And the bunny, wasn't there a movie where The Rock had to save Santa? Well, now the bunny is going to save Santa in the sequel. Under Sirianni, the Eagles are a resilient team. They don't stay down long. And that's why I'm so confident that this team can win tonight. Because of that. Yeah, they're denied. They're not going to get in. I believe Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens should be in the Hall of Fame. Because the mission statement of the Hall of Fame to Tatsuya, for the MLB Hall of Fame, I don't know if it's the same for the other leagues. The mission statement says, and I quote, to preserve the history of the game. And they are a major part of history. And you're ignoring, yes, a very black spot on history, a very bad part of history, but you're ignoring it. Okay? You put them in the Hall of Fame to teach generations forward how bad what they did was. Hell, you can have a whole wing in the Hall of Fame of elite players, elite athletes that cheated to tell the story of what they did and why it was wrong. Teach. Don't ignore. I think Eagles win 26-21. That's really close to my prediction. I did have a couple things close to that, but it's very close to my final prediction. Mike Rozier is a good friend of mine. He's letting me use his Heisman vote this year, so that's pretty exciting. What? I wouldn't say that out loud if that was true. I think he'd get a lot of trouble for that. Like, how the F is Tommy John not in the Hall of Fame? Give me a break. Look at how long it took Alan Trammell to get in. It's a travesty because Hall of Fames voted on just by reporters are so agenda motivated. And now you've got clickbait generated reasons. Like people that don't, was Ken Griffey Jr., one person did not vote for him to get in just to make a statement. So he could get clicks online. Same thing happened with, who was the other one that didn't get in? Either Mariano Rivera or Derek Jeter wasn't unanimous. Both should have been. So should Ken Griffey Jr. But somebody made a statement to get clicks or because they had an agenda. If you give me Bellinger and another big bat, then I'm okay. But if Belly is here to replace Schwarber as the big bat, I think the Phillies are become a much worse team. Very possible, elephant in the room. Very possible. Bellinger can't be the only move. No doubt about that. What's this business with a bunny? Go Google it. The Eagles brought in a big, the big giant snowmen and reindeer on everybody's front yards for Christmas. They bought a big giant Easter bunny one, and they blew it up and put it in the locker room on Friday. If there's ever a time to go over the budget, it's this year's. The lockout and the cap are the way after this year. Look, I know I don't want to get into this long conversation about the salary cap. I still don't know how a salary cap gets approved in baseball. They're going to have to make some kind of, if it happens, it would have to be a long-standing thing because contracts in baseball are so out of control right now that instituting a salary cap would be so tough. But we'll save that for another day. Is it a guarantee that all contracts will be grandfathered? Exactly. We don't even know if they're going to do a cap. They're going to try to. It's going to make it so complicated. Great Notre Dame take. Yeah, I hate that they're boycotting the bowl. I do. Jaden fell off so bad. He just got hurt a lot. Joey Callow, what? Bonds McGuire should be in the Hall of Fame, but steroids stop that. Well, they should be in it anyway, okay? I think the bunny is the team poking fun at the media and fans. That might be something to that. Casti is definitely gone. Do you think Bowman, Stott are moved too? I think at a minimum, one of Bohm, Stott, and Marsh is gone. A good chance that 2 of the 3 daycare are gone. No chance all 3, but 2 of the 3 daycare is gone. Casti's good as gone. Casti's already out there doing a self-recruiting trip for himself, going on, media tours, talking about how he'll play first base if a team asks him to. Comeback player of the year, Trevor Lawrence, Danny Dimes, Drake May. I don't think you could put Drake May in comeback player of the year because he's only in the second year. He would. They don't do a most improved player award in football like basketball, but he would be that. Daniel Dimes might still get it, even though he's going to miss the last 4 weeks. Very possibly. Sadly, Notre Dame is another nail in the coffin for the relevance of bowl games. Bowls are a relic now that power conference teams are all playoffs are bust and best players pulling out. Absolutely, and I get all that, and it's fine. But the bowls are still part of it, and it's big money. That big money in college football, a lot of it comes from these bowl games and the money there. I think it's a big bogus thing that they just said, no, we're not playing. Red Notice, that was the movie I'm talking about. That's what it is. Joe Callow is okay, gotcha. The asterisk wing of the Hall of Fame, I'm fine with that. When watching Hard Knocks, I would remind everyone that the players knew they were being recorded. Everything might not be as authentic as it appears. Absolutely agree with you on that. Although, on the flip side of that, David, we did see in Hard Knocks preseason last year how honest that idiot GM of the Giants was in his conversations with Saquon Barkley. So it might not all seem as it appears. Sometimes you forget the cameras are there. Or you're just too dumb to realize that they're there, a.k.a. the Giants GM. So we got to keep that into perspective, David. You're right here, for sure. The Eagles don't give out any information that they don't want out there, normally. But then you see what the Giants did last year, and sometimes those cameras are there for a little while, and you forget they're there. Aaron Rodgers could win comeback player of the year. He honestly, he could. I'm so glad that I hated that they won yesterday. Seriously, how many people have a surgical procedure named after them? I mean, seriously, K1. There ain't no Kenny Gainwell surgery. Well, he's not hurt. He had a big game yesterday. I had him in one of my DFS lineups yesterday. But keep the quiet stuff quiet, but Phil doesn't have the views to probably show up on the radar. What? Oh, yeah, exactly. I know you're talking about, yeah. Don't be putting that stuff out there. Yeah, exactly. And stab me in the heart with I don't have the views to put that on the radar. I mean, I don't have the views. I want the views. But, man, thanks for reminding me that my show doesn't do numbers stuff. Was Rivera the first unanimous first ballot? Either he was or Derek Jeter was. One was unanimous. One was missing one vote. I forget how that went. They have the right to make it public or not. There's like a little checkbox at the bottom. I'm going to do a recording because I did do my Hall of Fame ballot. I put it on Twitter. I'm going to record an episode of Phillies Hit and Run and just go over my ballot. So if you haven't seen it on Twitter, I'll put it out there. Yeah, it's not a hoodie. It's just a long sleeve shirt. You like it? You like it? You can get one. Link down in the comments. Mark McGwire, first ever hit, came off of Tommy John. Oddly, Tommy John's dentist was Mark McGwire's dad. Hold on, what? This is like the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever the hell it's called. McGwire's first hit came off Tommy John. Tommy John's dentist was Mark McGwire's dad. That's just like the weirdest, most random little thing I've ever heard there. There was such a thing, Phil Stiefel surgery. What would it be? Double compound fracture of the leg and not having it amputated? Rebuilding my eye? That's all fucked up? Who the hell watches baseball in 2025? Well, nobody right now because there is no baseball. It's over. Salary cap in baseball will require grandfather or limit the grandfather to 5 years after. Yeah, there's going to have to be a lot that goes into that. I don't know if you can claim that Jaden Daniels had a sophomore slump. To me, I would say Jaden Daniels just got hurt a lot. Plain and simple. And so did the team around him, which we knew would happen. What are you talking about there? I'm not even sure what you're saying there. And everyone in the NFL learned from that. Yeah, exactly. From the Giants being too honest in front of the counters. Penn State and Clemson played in the Pinstripes Bowl December 28th. The what bowl? The Pinstripes Bowl? Who cares? Screw Penn State. It may seem as it appears. Yep. No, Red Notice is the one with Reynolds and Gatto. I think you're a Red One. Whatever. Really bad movie where The Rock has to save Santa. Now the bunny is going to save Santa in Philly, okay? Objects in the mirror. Yeah. Utley is 100% Hall of Fame material for me. I am biased, though. He's my favorite player of all time. I think Jimmy Rollins has a better case, warfighter, than Jimmy Rollins. If I only had to pick one, it would be Jimmy Rollins. But that's just me. I just think Utley needed to do it for a longer stretch of time to really get that recognition that he needed. Kenny G, invincible! That was a movie quote right there. Just so you know. Invincible! I have to stand up to do it properly, but I'm not standing up. Phil's a true friend. A true friend stabs you in the front. That's true. That's true. College football absolutely needed playoffs. It did. It did. I'm not going to Brutus you. Yeah. Phil, your eye is fine. Stop bitching. Well, it's not, but okay. Does the end of the postseason make or break Orion Kirkring? I don't know. There's a lot of rumors that he gets traded. Obviously, there were a bunch of rumors about Matt Strahm getting traded this weekend. I wanted Ford for Strahm, but Ford got traded for another reliever. I don't know. I'm curious to see how Orion Kirkring rebounds from it. I really am. I hate to see the Phillies trade Kirkring because of that, and then him go out and have a great season and become the closer we thought he could be 2-3 years ago. Daniels was falling off. Daniels' arm and leg and knee is falling off. Yeah, I mean, he's already RG5. Yeah, he's being called RG5. 3-5. Yeah, got it. I get it. And it's a fair assessment. The Bunny will turn the Eagles season around starting tonight. I hope so. I mean, we talk about this Bunny, but the thing that bothers me more from this weekend of Eagles practices and stuff, Friday, Saturday, since the last trending in the AM, my biggest issue, not that Nick Sirianni's more involved in the offensive game planning and meetings, not the positivity rabbit or bunny or whatever it is. To me, the biggest thing that bothers me from this weekend is the Saquon Barkley comments. Honestly, it's been awful. When he was asked about the energy on the sideline during games, he said, I quote, honestly, it's been awful. Then he went on to say, ask anybody else in the locker room. If they were being honest, they would say the same thing. It's great on the sidelines during practice. It's great during practice, but during games, it's awful. That quote got ignored this weekend. And I think it's terrible. And that's the biggest bad gut feeling I have is why are there bad vibes on the sideline during games? And it can't just be Rick, A.J. Brown. It's got to be more than just that. They practice well. They feel confident going into the games. Then games start, and it's just like a stab in the gut. Indiana beat Ohio State at home. Yeah, look, I watched that game. It was a great game. I watched a bunch of it. Watched from about right before halftime through the end of the football game. J-Roll, Real Hall of Fame, Utley and Howard, Phil's Wall of Fame. Absolutely agree with you on that. I do. Look at you. I am invincible. It was great. Then boom, not invincible anymore. What a great movie. GoldenEye is arguably one of the 3 or 4 best James Bond movies of all time. Jaden could bounce back, but he had a terrible year after being my 3rd best quarterback year 1. Told you all to back off the Jaden Daniels train. Oh, it's been a while, Pump Man. How you doing this morning? We losing tonight. We might lose tonight. We very well could lose tonight. But we'll see. We'll see if the bunny saves the day. Why do I feel like the fans will find the rabbit, get it hooked on fentanyl, egg it, and Ryan throw it at the kid? Oh, my God. I think that's taking it a little far. They're tired of Kevin Patullo calling junk plays. Is it? It might be. Are they tired of each other not executing? Are they pointing fingers at each other for not executing? I mean, obviously, A.J. Brown's not running out plays. Is that part of it? I think it's a combination of all of the above. If they had NIL deals when I was in college, I would have taken football more seriously. Instead of wasting money on pot, I would have invested in more steroids. Yeah. Yeah. It takes a year of action to work college football up to having an interesting week or two. Yeah. GoldenEye is without a doubt one of the best N64 games of all time. GoldenEye, the video game, is the reason why I stopped playing video games. It was the first time I realized, oh shit, I'm bad at video games, and I gave up. I never really played video games or took them seriously after that. Dude, it was a great game. It was revolutionary. It was the first 4-person shooter game on the market ever. Great game. Great game. Phenomenal movie. Great game. Arguably the best game to be made off of a movie. Phil was the conductor of the Jaden Daniels train. I've stayed I still think Jaden Daniels, if he can get healthy and stay healthy, and his team can be built around him, Jaden Daniels is going to give the Eagles fits in future years. Yeah, how about the Cowgirls? Oh, man, yeah. Thanks, Adam, for that. I appreciate that. Why LeBron actually perform against the Sixers makes me hate him even more. Dude, look. Sixers clawed their way back to tie that game up with like 50 seconds left, and LeBron hits a fadeaway 3 and then a fadeaway baseline jumper to ice the game. There's a reason why LeBron James is the 2nd greatest basketball player ever to live. Who thinks the positivity bunny is going to end up in Patullo's front lawn? It might. I want to see the positivity bunny is about the same size as the big giant rat for picketing on, like, union jobs. I want to see the bunny and the rat go at each other. GoldenEye is good at where you battle your boys. And that's why I quit. Because my boys would gang up on me, whoop my ass, and I'd be the first one dead every time. I'm terrible at video games as well, but I keep playing because it's comical. Oh, I'm so bad. I haven't picked up a joystick of any kind in probably 15 years. I don't even know. 2nd greatest, maybe top 5. GoldenEye, so Contra's 1. Tecmo Super Bowl is 2. The original Mario Brothers is 3. GoldenEye 4. I think they would be my 4 favorite games. Zelda 5. The original Zelda. They would be my top 5. It's really starting to look like Nick Sirianni is a glorified motivational speaker with some football experience. The Birds just have a unique business model that ain't for everybody. I don't know. I don't want to devalue. That statement sounds very devaluing to me, Nooms. Devaluing what Nick Sirianni does. Devaluing what Nick Sirianni has accomplished. Okay? Nick Sirianni is the greatest coach in Eagles history. Plain and simple. So absolutely. Oh, you were talking about basketball players. No, LeBron's number 2. It's Jordan 1, LeBron 2, Kobe 3. You got Jordan, Kobe, Magic, Curry, LeBron. Yes, no, there's no way I'm putting Curry ahead of LeBron. And I'm not putting any, it's Jordan 1, LeBron 2. A lot of people don't put LeBron 2 because they don't like the person. I could take my personal distaste for LeBron James, the person, out of the equation, okay, and say he's the number 2 player of all time. Why? Because he wins and your team doesn't. See, the thing is, Nooms is an Eagles fan. So I get him saying that we can have a discussion. You're a Bills fan. You just don't like Nick Sirianni because you're jealous that Nick Sirianni's everything you want Sean McDermott in Buffalo to be. Meanwhile, Buffalo struggled to put away the Bengals yesterday. It's not an easy job, mind you, but we got to call it how we see it. I appreciate you calling it the way you say it. I just think the way you're, maybe you got to find a better way to phrase it. The way you phrased this comment to me sounds to me like you are devaluing what he has done here, the success that he has had here. And I don't think that's fair. LeBron takes plays off and is not clutch in most situations. He relies on longevity for stats. Dude, his per-year stats or his per-game stats are great. Look, I know LeBron has annoyed people for a long time. And I'm right there with you. LeBron, the person, I can't stand him. I got a bold take that I don't even want to get into on LeBron. But it takes away LeBron, the person. But LeBron, the player, I mean, he's 40. How old now? And he's still performing at an elite level. He's still a top 20 player in the NBA right now. Bill's coach can stink, and Sirianni be pure, lucky, cringe quarterback, Phil. Okay, it's fine. I phrased it to get you an extra short. Okay, we'll see if it gets to that point or not. Flowers yelling at fans, and now a bunny. Look, the flowers worked. Yelling at fans worked. Don't forget the underdog mask in 22. That worked. There was the underdog mask in 17. Things like that work. Sometimes you need something like that, like the positive bunny, to take the edge off. LeBron's legacy is the flop. I don't know about that. I haven't fully formulated how to say it yet. Okay? But it has to do with money, power, and greed. Okay? And how it destroys people. And sometimes you don't see what they're doing behind the scenes. Let's just say I watched the Diddy documentary on this past weekend. The whole thing in one night. 4.5 hours straight I watched that thing. And I always knew Diddy was a terrible person. But money, power, and greed hid that or kept it, on the DL as long as possible. We knew it was bad, but we still loved him. Well, I didn't, but people did. I wonder if there's any basically my LeBron take is, I wonder if all the money, power, and greed, how many skeletons are in LeBron's closet that he's covered up with the money and power? I don't know. Did I say that in a safe way? I'm not saying he's like out there doing what Diddy did, but I wonder if he's got skeletons and his power and money have hidden them. Yeah. Why do so many people dislike LeBron? Did your high school girlfriend cheat on you with a kid? I know, exactly. People hate on him because he's the greatest or one of the greatest. Wasn't the underdog mask was 17, but it worked. Kobe over LeBron in my eyes. No, Kobe's number 3, but LeBron is still second best. It's going to be a late night. Oh my God, it's going to be late. I got to try to find a way to take a nap today for sure. Guys, it's past the top of the hour. It's 9:04. If you haven't yet, like, subscribe, share. We only got like 13 or 14 likes on the video today. I want to get this number up this week. This has got to be a big week. We had a good week. We crossed 900. Great shows, great viewership last week, but this number did not go up. We got to get this number up this week, guys. I need to see at least 920 or 925 this week. Why do things like that work? It's luck and hope. It should be prep and effort. Yeah, look, I get it. But sometimes you put so much pressure on yourself as an athlete, as an individual, as a father, as a worker, as a podcaster, that sometimes you need something fun to take the edge off. And maybe that's what it is in this situation. I don't know. It'd be about 745, 750. Somewhere in that range. Somewhere in that range I'll go live tonight. I watched the entire Diddy documentary. It was interesting. I'm not saying that, and I don't think he was. But there's got to be something, right? There's got to be a skeleton in that dark closet in the back of his mansion, right? I got to think it. Because money, power, and greed covers things up. I'm not saying LeBron isn't great or hasn't been great. That would be stupid. His attitude towards the game has held him back and puts him as the 5th best player. And I get that. See, I don't look at attitude and personality. I just look at the skill set on the court. And LeBron's skill set on the court is better than everybody since Michael Jordan. Yeah, LeBron could continue to play. And you know what? Theoretically, he's kept his body in good enough shape that he could keep playing until he's 50. He really could. You didn't know how bad Diddy was as a human being, and he didn't have unlimited money and power like a Bezos or Eli. Look, I knew he was a bad person. I didn't know how bad of a person he was till I watched that. Yeah, that's true too. Phil, I'm unemployed, but I need to find a way to take a nap. Yeah. Well, I say that because I don't take naps. I'm not very good. I don't like naps. I wake up grumpier than before the nap, typically. So I'm not a nap guy. Never have been. Never been good with the nap situation. But I got up at 7 a.m. for this. I'm not going to go to bed till after midnight because I got to set up tomorrow morning show after the game's over. The only way I get to bed at a normal time is it's a complete, utter blowout, and I end the live stream early tonight. It's literally the only way. I want 9:20 by the end of the week. You're saying 9:20 at the end of the day? Guys, let's do it. Let's get TMC to have his wish. I would definitely share that. I know you will, my man. People making LBJ sound like he is Jamie Moyer. I know, exactly. I mean, he's literally the second GOAT. Now you're rooting for overtime. Thanks, I appreciate you. Overtime just means there's no morning show tomorrow. That's all that means, K1. Ouch! Ouch! Wow. Wow. Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow morning, too. We'll be live tomorrow. Maybe, depending on how the game goes, we might have to push it off to 8:30 instead of 8. We'll see how late I'm up tonight. If it says 8:30, we might go live sooner than that. Depends on when I wake up. But, yeah, we'll still do a show. As Big Al like to remind, I'm retired. I can take naps, you know. Got to do what I got to do, right? Got to find a way to get these numbers up so I can, you know, start making some money. I made $3 today. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate that. That's all I made today. That's all I'm going to make. I'm going to spend more than $3 today. Just the electricity to run this show is more than $3 today. Anyway, back to the Eagles game. What do we worry about it? Do we worry about the Chargers at all? Or is it just worried about our own performance and execution? Do we worry that the Chargers can actually beat us? Do we worry that that is even remotely part of the conversation? Or is it pretty simple that the only way we lose this game is if we beat ourselves, if we don't execute? Like, I know the Chargers are a good team. They've got 8 wins. Justin Herbert is a good quarterback. They got a really good defense. A lot of good defense. I mean, they got 34 sacks, their defense. They create turnovers, their defense. But I'm not worried about the Chargers at all. I'm worried whether the Eagles can execute the game plan that they've put so much time into effectively. What am I going to eat tonight? I don't know. No idea. Drink, probably not much. You're going to need to sell out with the Phillies forced into impossible decision thumbnails. Yeah. I got breaking now thumbnails ready to go. What did you hear? I don't know. Did I say something inappropriate or something? I don't know. Justin Herbert will have his redemption. I mean, he's already 1-0 against the Philadelphia Eagles in his career. And Marshawn, I already said it earlier in the show, that the number one reason I want the Eagles to win is not because I need the Eagles to win, but because I don't want to hear all these people pull out all these receipts that I've made comments about Hurts being greater than Herbert for so long. Justin Herbert is a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. Did I say something wrong? He's not a great quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback. He's a good quarterback. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in the NFL. K1, he's not a great quarterback. The choice of my words matters good. Not great, good. This is going to be a much tougher game than people think. They can run the ball extremely well. The Chargers don't run the ball very well, actually. I mean, maybe they do they don't have an elite running back. Not one guy that stands out. But running-wise, they are the 12th rush team, 12th best rush offense in football. 50-50 Birds-Chargers fan ratio at the game? Maybe. Muchas gracias, Warfighter. Thank you. Here's my contribution to LBJ flopping fund to pay for all his medical expenses that he incurs on his hurt feelings. I love it. You know what? I'll leave this out. You know, I'm a LBJ's number 2. Some are not. But because of this, sure. I'll put him number 3 behind Kobe. All right? Just for you. You've spent years shitting on Justin Herbert. Yeah, and my shitting on Herbert hasn't changed. I shit on Herbert because people say he's one of the 3 or 4 best quarterbacks in football on a regular basis. He's not. He is not an elite quarterback. He's good. He's 10th, 8th, 12th best quarterback in football, depending on the weekly basis. We're still talking of this loser shit. What loser shit? We have to come out and be on our game and not have stupid penalties. Penalties are a huge thing. All this talk about execution and not enough talk about, not committing dumb penalties. How many A.J. Brown penalties can we withstand? Right? Herbert will own Phil or prove him correct. Or it'll be just down the middle. He'll just do okay. Or he'll put up big. You know what's going to happen? Herbert's going to put up 300 passing yards, and the Chargers are going to lose by 3. See, but Hurts had to be saved by somebody else. Herbert's still better. And I'll respond to every one of them who won the game. Herbert definitely smells like Phil's farts. So he smells like roses. Vital can light it up on the ground. He can. Harbaugh versus Sirianni. It's a great coaching matchup. It's a top 12 rushing attack because they're 12th in football, okay? So they're the 12th ranked football team in football running the football right now. But Jordan is good. There's no argument there. Poor man's Philip Rivers. I've been saying it since day one. Right now, he's probably right around 10. I mean, this year, if I had to go through this year, I would say Drake May's probably passed Justin Herbert this year. Drake May's gotten in the top 10 for sure. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson still, Joe Burrow still in the top 10. Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts still in the top 10. Justin Herbert's in that Jordan Love, Jared Goff conversation. Baker Mayfield. Really good quarterbacks. Good to really good quarterbacks. Herbert sucks, but the Eagles are worse. I mean, hey, you might be right. If Jordan Davis starts getting stood up again, then Hurts may need to throw for or run for 4 or 5 tutties. Again, last time he lost 2 games in a row earlier this year, he threw for 3 and threw for over 320 yards passing, and we won. And Jordan Davis got a huge game this year, or tonight. He's already at 62% snaps played, most he's played in his career. He's already played 499 snaps. The most snaps played was in 23. He is literally 20 snaps. He played 519 snaps in 23, the most he ever played. And that was only 45% of the snaps. He is going to pass his 2023 snap count total tonight in week 14. He's got career highs in tackles for losses, pass broken up, sacks. Jordan Davis earned himself a payday this year. Did the Sixers lose? They did. On the backs of LeBron James. And Joel Embiid sucking. Refs calling everything and anything on Eagles this year as league instructed them to. Because they can't get the tush-push ban. Yeah. How many Super Bowls has Herbert won? I'm not sure. I'll wait for a statistician to get me that report, okay? Lamar's been shit this season. He absolutely has been. The entire team has been. That there's an interception thrown yesterday. I think it was by Lamar. There was an interception thrown yesterday by a really good quarterback at some point in one of those games yesterday. It was just one of the most brutal interceptions I've ever seen. And like if Jalen Hurts did that, he'd get bashed nonstop about it. You want to grow and get faster subs, you need to double down on hot takes. I'm not a hot take guy. I'm not a rage baiter. I'm not a click baiter. Okay? What's up, Jess? How you doing this morning? Good morning to you. Sorry if you already talked about Zach Ertz, but that was tough to see. We talked about, but we talk about it again. It's sad. It's a shame. It's a damn sad way to probably end his career. At his age, coming back from that injury, man, brutal. We talked about earlier this year that the Eagles should have tried to get him back when Commanders were considering selling the farm. Maybe it doesn't happen if he comes back here. It's a sad day. Zach Ertz took a hit. They initially ruled it an ACL tear. He jumped up to catch a ball. He was fully extended. He got hit in his knee. It had to be an ACL tear mixed with a knee dislocation. Like his leg bent at the kneecap in an angle. Legs just don't bend. You saw him crying as he got carted off the field. It was brutal. It's one of those things you see it once, you don't want to see again, Marshawn. But not only is he done for the year, but what's he, 37, 38 years old? Unfortunately, there's no way he comes back from that. At his age, he was already slowing down. Was Jalen Hurts still top 10 if he finishes this year like he's been playing lately? As long as we win, and at least win one playoff game, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's just hope all those AB or ab workouts pay off for JD, yeah. Randy Quaid in Major League? Really? Marshawn's a good guy, war fighter. You just got to get his. Maybe it's because I've been listening to his comments and interacting with him on shows of mine for 5 years now. Maybe a little less than that. So I get his sense of humor. Did the Sixers choke up a big lead? No, they made a big comeback, actually. And then LeBron James did GOAT things and shut it down in the final minute of the game. Joe didn't move bad yesterday, but those automatic middies just weren't there. I don't know. I don't think he moved that great. I don't. Burrow threw 2 consecutive interceptions. I know that for sure. Chargers are frauds. Philly blows them out. What's up, my man? How you doing? Make sure you like, subscribe. I don't think the Chargers are frauds per se. I don't think they're great. I think they're a good team. The Chargers are a playoff quality team. But I don't think the Chargers are a team that contend for a Super Bowl appearance. They definitely get in, but they don't make it far. Maybe they win a game, maybe they don't. That's how I would describe the Chargers. I can't see your name. Tyler. Oh, O.S. Tyler. Os Tyler. There we go. If Sirianni was 6-7, he'd be fired already, probably. Phil, do you understand that fumbling ball right before goal line is turnover if it rolls out of bounds in the end zone? Yes, it's a safety. Andy Reid is 6-7. It's funny. It is. Technically, they're not out of it, the Chiefs, but they'll be back. The Chiefs dynasty that we saw might be over, but they are a quick retool away because they still got a great coach. Andy Reid, we love or hate him, whatever. He's still a great coach, one of the best of all time. Arguably a top 3 coach of all time, Andy Reid. And they got the greatest quarterback to ever live. Sucks, but it's the case. Get that offensive line fixed. Find him a running back. It really usually is a PCL when the leg goes that way. Yeah, look, I mean, they were making statements, and it's hard for them to make those statements without testing and stuff like that. It looked bad. We can all agree on that. Eagles not beating the Raiders either. Stop. Harbs hasn't won a Super Bowl in 13 years. Philly beating the hell out of the Raiders. Yeah. Marshawn's just being typical Marshawn. Marshawn's the original Core 12. If Hurts shits the bed tonight, which I hope he doesn't, then McKee talk will intensify. It will, and I will continue to shut that nonsense down. Jalen Hurts could go 10 for 40 tonight, throw 5 interceptions, and it still will not be time to turn the keys over to Tanner McKee. It just won't. Super Bowl MVPs don't grow on trees. I get Marshawn's sense of humor, and I play, okay, gotcha. Just making sure, because there's some people that get offended. We had somebody get offended last week and unsub because one commenter wasn't happy with them. I'm just saying Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Yeah, I know Trent Dilfer did. So did Brad Johnson. A lot of people did. I don't get how LeBron is better than Kobe. Kobe made you feel like he was never going to lose in a big game. LeBron's kind of felt like that. I mean, LeBron literally carried them to a victory last night in the final minute. Chargers are a good team with bad O-line issues. That's not. I mean, are you going to give Jalen Hurts and the Eagles that same excuse? Because we've got bad O-line issues this year as well. Is that why the Eagles think? Not. Yeah, I mean, you want to see Tanner McKee. But the Eagles have the same O-line issues. And no one's using that as an excuse. Well, I am, but nobody else is. Andy Reid equals George Custer. Tough back. Touchback, not safety. Did I say safety? I thought I said touchback. It's definitely a touchback. That shouldn't have been a safety against Dak. What? Eagles are dynasty killers. They are. Sixers really miss Kelly Oubre. Never thought I'd agree with that, but I do. 1,000%. I wouldn't be laughing at the Chiefs when we lost to the Bears and the Cowboys. Eagles are not a retool away from contending again, unlike the Chiefs. The Eagles don't need to retool because they're still a better team than the Chiefs. The Texans might go all the way if they keep playing defense like, oh, my God. I would be very scared to play what I saw on defense last night in the Super Bowl. Oz Tyler. Like, I would. Oz Tyler, O-S Tyler, whatever. I'd be very, very scared to play that defense in the Super Bowl. I really would. He's the Pepe the Frog, is he? I don't know. He's an OG. He dates back to pre-Core 12. The Chiefs lost to Dallas. A lot of teams. The Eagles have lost to teams. Everybody's losing. The parity in the NFL this year, it's insane. Yeah, Eli won 2 Super Bowls. Yeah. Saints huge win. The Saints winning and the Titans winning. Like, what are these teams doing? Like, do you not understand you're trying to get a draft pick and you're out there winning? The Giants got the number one pick in the draft now. MJ GOAT over Braun and Kobe. Of course, nobody's arguing with that. Well, there are people like my old Hers guy at the pizza shop that would say that, would argue me that. I'm talking playoffs and finals when I say Kobe ain't losing big games. All right, I'm looking at the grand scheme of things, but yeah. And, I mean, LeBron's got a lot of titles. He's got a lot of championship losses, but he's got a lot of titles. I mean, he's been to, 10 NBA Finals, 12 NBA Finals in his career? What's up, Bando? It's so good about Tanner McKee. Exactly. They're not. Don't say why you all so obsessed, because there's like 1% of the chat and 1% of Eagles Nation that's like that. So don't put y'all. Don't include me, Bando, in that y'all. Okay? It's ridiculous, and I agree. Just gotta be careful with that y'all, because I'm not in that. Okay? Eagles beat the Chiefs in Kansas City's house. Yes, they did. Eagles need to really get the O-line straightened out with depth. Can we do it in an offseason? Maybe. Yeah, I mean, they could do it in an offseason, Duck, if Lane Johnson doesn't retire. Because then you're getting Lane Johnson's replacement and then using that as your depth. This offseason will be time to turn the page from the Matt Pryors of the world, the Brett Toss of the world. Get younger and better in those backup positions. Pissed that Caleb Williams looked good against the Eagles' vaunted defense. No one's calling the Eagles' defense vaunted. I am not. Okay? Caleb Williams fought that. Caleb Williams was the interception I was thinking about. That interception he threw at the end of the Packers game, where he could have run for the first down on 4th down, but instead tried to lob a ball into the back of the end zone, and the Packers defender picked it off. Dude, if Jalen Hurts threw that ball, he'd be blasted to infinity and beyond. But Caleb Williams, yeah. LeBron was carried by Wade and Bosch when they won. I don't know about that. Better leave Tanner. It is better to leave him a mystery so you could trade him for a first-round pick versus not. McKee about to pull a Brady. Stop. You're killing the show. People like Bando probably think this is one of those other shows where nonsense happens. You're ruining my show by making those nonsense comments. No, questions, because you put a question mark at it. If the Eagles' defense has been struggling all year, it's kind of tucked under the rug because Philly has been winning. Look, I'm the only Eagles guy out there that's complaining about the defense. Everyone said, oh, well, the defense had to play 85 plays because the offense stunk. Well, the defense hadn't played 85 plays when they were getting gashed on drive 1, 2, and 3. The Eagles' defense has been utter brutality this year. Okay? Outside of Quinion Mitchell being arguably, he won't win it, but arguably should be the defensive player of the year. Won't get it because of no interceptions, but he's playing like it. Outside of that, everybody's had a down year. Jordan Davis had a slight improvement too, but not enough. If we all had the same opinion, it would be a very boring road. I agree. And you know I'm just giving you a hard time. I just don't see it. I just do not see it. All right. I haven't given a score prediction. A lot of people haven't given. I want to start. Anybody that hasn't given their score prediction for tonight, give it out. Mike, sign with the. Really? Sorry, I was like, what? We're talking LeBron James and the Eagles and this and that, and all of a sudden we got a Diamondback signing. Good, I guess. I wrote down a lot of score predictions. Eagles are still 2.5-point favorites. Over/under's 42.5. And let me tell you something. The over/under's hitting tonight. Okay? The over is hitting tonight. Okay? I do have the Eagles covering the 2.5-point spread. I did write down some losses for the Eagles on my sheet here. I thought about 30-20, but then I just thought the Eagles just aren't going to score 30. I wrote down Eagles win. Oh, Rick, you're very close to my prediction. Eagles win 28-24. Jalen Hurts makes a big play at the end of the game, not Tanner McKay, to seal the deal. I say 28-24. The Chargers are trying to stop us. They need to get a stop on third down or it's game over. Jalen Hurts makes a play with his legs to get a first down to ice the game tonight. That's how I see it playing out. Eagles held Detroit and Green Bay to under 10 points. The Eagles have also scored only 15.5 points the last 4 games, and they're 2-2 in those games because they did that. And yes, the Eagles defense has had moments in those 2 games, but even with those 2 scores against Detroit and Green Bay, they've still given up far too many points. They're still a far too media. They're not even in the top 20 in anything but points given up, right? Eagles win 28-26. Yeah, like I said, 28-24 I got. 24-23, Soldier Steve says, Eagles win. The only reason you are shitting on the defense is because you won't come to your senses on shit on quarterback one. If Tanner can roll right and make a play, then stop. No, I'm calling it the way I say it. The defense has not been good. Okay? Jalen Hurts has nothing to do with them not stopping runs. I got Eagles 28-17. So the Chargers are still good enough to keep it a little closer than some of these. 35-17 Bolts. If the Chargers are going to score or win, it's going to be in this kind of blowout fashion, Marshawn. It's not going to be a 28-26 Bolts win. It's not going to be a 21-20 Chargers win. It'll be a blowout fashion. And it could happen. No, this is not it. But it could be the game where Kevin Patullo gets fired. Could be. You didn't fire him on the long week, but they might fire him on a short week, right? Pump man is waiting. He is. He popped his head in. Pump man pumped his head in for a minute. Tank needs 7 to 10 touches, 100%. 7, 8, 9 touches, 100%. Tank needs to be utilized. 100%. Finished my company Zoom meeting. Why is business so slow nowadays? I thought we were making things great. We're not going to get into that one. Not get into that one. Eagles blow out Chargers 35-21. The Eagles just don't put up that kind of offensive output very frequently. So that's why it's hard for me to see the Eagles putting up 30 or more points. But I can see them. I wrote down 30-20, 31-21 as potential scores. Yep. I need Smitty and AJ to fight on the sidelines and Jalen sitting there with that dead look on his face. Because, that's all that they show you. They don't show you how he gets fired up and talks with everybody. Which clearly we learned he does. Yeah. I hope the Eagles don't get blown out, but they did it. Would be no, it's not going to be Tanner McKee time. Barring an injury, it's not. Yeah, exactly. He drops it and he dips so quickly. Eagles, but it's not going to happen a blowout. But I have tons of work. We aren't making money, but tons of work. Yeah. At least you guys have jobs. The economy is toasting up. Yeah, look, we're not getting into that. I'd rather talk Tanner time than about the economy or business or all that. Yeah, exactly. Hard Knocks proved. The TV cameras, they have a narrative to say. They want people to think there's a problem. It creates more drama. Drama sells. Just like sex sells, drama sells. It is what it is. Hope there's no injury. But the injury is the only way you get your wish. So you keep wishing for it, means you're wishing for an injury. You might not know you're wishing for an injury, but you're wishing for an injury. Politics suck. They absolutely do. And if people bring politics into the conversation, that's when I cut the show down. We've passed the 9:30 mark, and we're still here. We go overtime every day now. But you talk politics, I cut the show off real quick. Exactly, OS Tyler. Some of y'all sound like Cowboys fans. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's not that there's only one Cowboys fan that we think is a Cowboys fan. That's the Pump Man. But outside of that, strong opinionated fans. The one thing you get here, Tyler, is that we all keep it from getting too personal or anything like that. We don't let it get personal. Take politics out of it. The economy is standstill. We're not talking about it. I don't ever wish for injury. Subtly, you don't know it, but you're wishing for it. Tush Push will be rebranded to Keister's Push when Tanner comes in for what? Yeah. I find it funny that NFL Films' narrative is different than all the networks. Exactly. It's because the execs don't want to spend any money and hire help. What? Yeah. 100. Well, look, I got it. Tyler, look, we have fun here every single day. That's what we do. Who has a bigger impact tonight for their team, Coop or Derwin James? I don't know. It's a good question. Derwin James is somebody that the Eagles have to have their eye on where he's lined up every single down on defense. I don't know. I need to see Cooper have a good game. What's his name? Ladd lines up in the slot a lot. Let's have a big game for Coop. That's a name for the wicket pass Cooper Rush. He's still out there somewhere. Cooper, yeah, I mean, I tried to tell everybody before the season started, Marshawn, we don't slide him to the outside. He's an elite slot corner. One of the best, if not the best in football. You don't know what you're going to get on the outside. He got beat on the outside a few weeks ago. We all love Cooper DeJean. No doubt about it. Today's a big sub up, even if we want 920. We haven't gotten a new sub yet today that I'm aware of. Guys, subscribe, like, share. It's free to click those buttons, guys. It's free to do it. Has there been any update on the Slay situation in Buffalo? He was put on the retired list, inactive list. So they're not releasing. As of now, they're not releasing him. They put him on a list so that they free up a roster spot. And whatchamacallit, Sean McDermott was pissed. He was talking, we waived one guy to bring him in, and then he doesn't want to play here. He might get cut after we play Buffalo, but that's it. We know Cooper can't cover white wide receivers. Is that what it is? Is that what Slay better stay in Buffalo? Eagles suck. Darius was not good this year. Let's be honest. Darius was not good this year. Slay should play nice for a few weeks and go back Eagles next year. I mean, he might retire. I mean, he's talking about how he misses spending time with his family, wants to see his kids senior year, his kids growing up, etc. Marshall's mad at the world because he didn't get to stay in Japan on his trip. The wide receiver who I'm worried about tonight is Keenan Allen. Yeah, those possession wide receivers do give us fits sometimes. Isn't Slay like 35? He's up there in age, 35, 36, something like that, yeah. Jalen Hurts has so much power, he can get Patullo and Sirianni fired just by playing like shit. How he won't change quarterbacks. I mean, he did. He changed quarterbacks with Carson Wentz and fired the coach. He did both, just so you know. Imagine being so afraid of a team that you gatekeep them from getting a player. Unbelievable. I understand it, but it's really a bad look for the NFL. I don't know. They needed cornerback help. They didn't claim him off of waivers because of a Week 17 game. They claimed him because they thought he would improve their team. Slay's the guy that's got to understand that. Honestly, I love Darius Slay. I wanted Darius Slay back despite him being one of the worst cornerbacks in football. But I also think it's kind of a bogus thing from Darius Slay saying, I'm leaving Pittsburgh. I know what the rules are in the NFL, but I ain't going to go wherever they tell me to go. If I don't go to where I want to go, I'm just not going to play. I think it's kind of a bogus look on Darius Slay. Yeah, he'd be a backup to Adoree Jackson, honestly. Didn't pick up Gilly. Who? Oops. Maybe I'm missing that one. Anyway, we're getting close to the end. I got Eagles winning 28-24 tonight. We'll be live about 7:45, 7:50 tonight for the entirety of the game. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, share. Tune in live for the watch party. The only place to hang out, drink, get drunk, or not, and watch the football game. And watch me overreact to every single thing on a 10-second delay. Because that's what it is, right? Oh, Stephen Gilmore. Just like Justin Simmons. Still hasn't signed anywhere. Because maybe they just don't have it anymore. That's that. Anyway, we're going to wrap this baby up. We get Shorts working on this. I don't know what the beverage of choice tonight. I might open a bottle of wine and drink wine tonight. I haven't had wine in a week or two. Not enough bourbon left. I don't know if I'll go out tonight. Not enough vodka left. Plus, that fucks me up too quickly. Maybe we'll do a little wine. Maybe we'll do a little tea. I don't know. We'll see. Buffalo knows he doesn't want to be there. They knew he wanted to go to Philly or Detroit. Maybe they need a rule for veterans over 10. Well, I definitely think the rule should be changed. That I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But the rule is the rule. They thought he could help them. He doesn't want to, yeah, he wanted to go to Philly, maybe Detroit. It still doesn't, it's the same thing with like Notre Dame saying, we're not going to play in a bowl game because we didn't get the bowl game we wanted, which is the playoffs. So we're not going to play. There you say, I didn't get to go where I wanted despite the rules saying otherwise, so I'm just not going to play. Oh, I'm a big beer man too. I don't plan on leaving my house today. I don't know if I haven't. I like to stick to one thing. I don't think I got enough beer to just drink one type of beer tonight. So I don't know if I feel like going out today or not. We'll see. Anyway, we got to wrap this baby up, guys. We'll be back tonight live. Thanks all for tuning in. Great show, as always. If you haven't liked, subscribe, share. If you watch this on replay, I don't care. I still respond. Yeah, I should have gone out and grabbed a bottle of something. But I didn't. Maybe I still will. We'll see what the day brings. It's going to be a cold one today. It is a different thing. I was trying to come up with the best thing. And as I was saying it, I knew it might not be the perfect comparison. But I'm pissed off at the bowl situation. And I think Darius Slay needs to show his veteran presence. Unless he really did want to retire. Maybe he didn't want to come to Philly. Maybe he didn't want to go to Detroit. Maybe he really did want to retire. Maybe. Maybe the poor performance this year taught him that maybe I am past my prime. Thank you very much. I always want to call you Oyster. It looks like Oyster at quick glance. Tyler, have a great one, my man. Thank you very much. Go get that up. I got some work to do. Then nap in the afternoon. But I'll be live 7:45, 7:50 tonight, guys. Everybody have a great day. Stay warm. It's going to be cold as shit out. Go Birds. Bubbles up.